Hi, recently while browsing the internet I found an old game, specifically black ink but green and with rebels, and I thought it would be fun to refresh my memory of this game. However, when I was about to purchase it, I noticed the best feature of this game, the Steam Workshop. I immediately knew how I will spend my next few hours of my life downloading mods that I will never play, but one mod particularly caught my attention. It's Mojave Hoover Dam. As a Fallout geek, I decided to try this mod, and I regret it. Yeah, so let's start with what the gameplay in the Rebellion Sea is about. We begin as the government of the country engulfed by rebels, and we fight for the influence on the map, divided into sectors when we try to maintain or gain influence by winning over the local population. Yeah, and the maps usually look like some desert regions, something like Iraq or Syria. But in this case, we will be fighting in the Mojave Desert, especially around the Hoover Dam, as we learn from the mod. So, let's begin this episode.
Let's go!
So, at the start we need just to choose a difficulty level, and for this run it will be normal. But we also need a name for our operation, and I thought about it for a moment, and the name New Struggle seemed very fitting, but I didn't know that yet, so I went with the New Battle. So we arrived at the Mojave Wasteland, and to start our approach we need to choose an HQ. And I was thinking about setting up the NCR HQ at the Camp McCarran, and it would be the best fit, but it's too far from the Hoover Dam on this map. And by the way, it doesn't resemble the map from the Fallout New Vegas. But anyway, the next good place for HQ would be Prim, and we will start our game from there. As you can see, the game features a mechanic for restoring the dam and the infrastructure, which leads to the civilian support for our actions, and this is essential for this gameplay, because if our reputation drops to 0, we lose the game. And we can increase the reputation by having more regions joined to our government, and we can achieve this by developing infrastructure and improve living conditions for our civilians. Everything would be great if it weren't for the fact that we are in an open war with the rebels, who will constantly take over more sectors and destroy our dreams of peaceful gameplay experience like in the Roblox Tycoon games. And I think it's also worth mentioning the corruption and the inflation in this game. So, briefly, corruption is a stat that if left unchecked will keep increasing until it reaches a critical level, which is above 100%, and will start damaging your reputation. However, I like to roleplay a bit in this case, and as a leader of the state, I usually ignore it. And as for inflation, if I quickly buy a lot of upgrades, they become increasingly expensive because the currency loses value, but if you still don't understand, only this video can save you.
If monkey have one banana, banana rare, banana valuable. If monkey make more banana, banana not rare, banana not valuable.
And if you still don't understand this, then either there is no hope for you or you work in the finance for the government. But enough of this economic gibberish, because the first rebel have appeared and I need to neutralize them. And that's not so simple, because to kill them I either have to surround them or lure them to the edge of the map, so they have nowhere to escape. And it doesn't seem that hard, right? Well, you have to consider that recruiting your own units in this game takes an insanely long time, and coalition units, that the better one, disappear after a while and don't come back. But oh well, you have to manage, because if I ignore the rebels, they will take over the territories, and if they take over the territories, my support will drop like a rock, almost immediately. Alright, I think that's everything you need to know at the beginning, and now we can start the regular gameplay. Yeah, so we start again in the Prim, and the first upgrade is the ability to repair the Hoover Dam, and if I don't fix it, it will flood the entire Vegas, and it will be the game over. Additionally, there is a bit of intel for the nearby regions and a handful of luxuries for the civilian population, meaning some basic human rights. But there is no time for luxuries like running water or electricity now, because it's time to deal with the rebels, who in this scenario, as the NCR, could be just bandits trying to destroy the dam and make my life harder. As you can see, I sent my first coalition unit westward, while in the meantime the bandits spread everywhere in the east. I wanted to save the situation by recruiting a larger national army, but I didn't know that yet, that the more units you train, the slower all of them train. And I tried to fix this by deploying 2 more National Guards units, but I did it too late. And the bandit took over the entire east coast and started marching on New Vegas and the dam, and unfortunately with my firepower I couldn't defend, which ultimately led to my defeat. Alright, that was just a warm-up. Now I'm going in hard on these bandits, but first I need to change the HQ location because Prim isn't suitable, so I've chosen the mountains near them. This is a better spot because I will be able to crush the bandit at the source, and by at the source I mean in those mountains where they were hiding and defending themselves. So I started by gaining some trust from the local population by providing them with the basic rights and access to essential things like water, and now that has to suffice. Yeah, because I'm currently focusing on eliminating the separatist units, which might appear soon. And as I said, the separatists appeared. Not exactly where I expect them, but that doesn't change the fact that I now have to heavily invest in the military and eliminate them as quickly as possible to prevent them from spreading across the map. So I deployed the 3 coalition units to help me manage the situation and stabilize the region. However, they were supposed to help, but they didn't quite fulfill that role. Despite the initial surprise, I hoped I could get this mess on the map under control. So I started a crusade against the separatists in the north. Unfortunately, one of the units east of the mountains couldn't join the fight because I didn't have intel in those mountains, and as a result these units had to scout the area themselves before attacking, which slightly prolonged one of the battles in that region. But fortunately, during these skirmishes my units were constantly being trained. Now I can finally deploy a National Guard unit, which will remain on the map until the end of the game, which is a huge advantage. With the help of these units I will be able to gain some control over the north. But for now it doesn't look as good as it sounds, because I'm literally losing every battle on this front. And the only thing that can change that is deploying more units, which are currently being trained and soon will be ready for action. Yeah, but soon is a very broad term, because right now I'm getting beaten so badly that I will have to evacuate all my units soon. And one of them just got destroyed, because it was under the constant fire in the hostile territory. However, I was slowly starting to gain an advantage thanks to the breach I created in the middle of the enemy's territory, and this cut off their ability to support the units and allowed my forces to focus on the single surrounded region, where the largest separatist base was located. Yeah, but finally it happened. Some coalition units began to ending their turns in my army, and unfortunately the situation in the north forced me to keep these units against their will, which caused me to lose some reputation. However, for now I have no other choice. Yeah, occupied with everything that was happening, I didn't notice that a bridge appeared on the eastern part of the front, allowing the rebels to cross the mountains and head towards the Vegas. Fortunately, I managed to control the situation as more National Guard units arrived, but ultimately I managed to stabilize the northeastern front, thus protecting Vegas and the Hoover Dam from the threat posed by the bandits. Although the west is still controlled by the bandits, I obtained the option to negotiate with them in an effort to move towards ending the conflict, but unfortunately the bandits rejected my offer. Since they don't want peace for now, I will handle it. Therefore I send my entire army to the west to neutralize all possible bandit units and to hurry them along in making decision about peace, since my reputation is very low, and if it drops to 0, it will be the end. So I need to act quickly. And just as I thought, by moving my entire army into the west, I completely stabilized the entire western front, leaving not a single bandit unit alive. I could almost say that it looks like an end, especially considering that after this action the bandits agreed to peace talks. However, I have one last fortress to conquer, which is located in the southwestern region of the map, right next to Prim. Following the same strategy as in the west, I achieved the same successful outcome there. Yeah, and everything looks great so far. The entire map is cleared of the major group bandits, with only a few isolated units appearing here and there, but that's a minor detail. The most important thing right now is that I only have 16 reputation left. which is incredible small amount, so I will have to either speed up the peace talks with the bandits, losing reputation in the process because I'm negotiating with the bandits, or win the heart of the local population, which seemed quite challenging. Honestly, they are very demanding. I thought providing them with drinking water and electricity would be enough, but apparently not, so I will need to work on gaining their trust. Since I dominated the entire map, peace talks began to occur more frequently. However, I faced quite a dilemma. I could expedite the peace talks by conceding to the bandits, but this would cost me a lot of reputation. With only 15 reputation left, losing 5 would be very painful and risky. But on the other hand, it would speed up the peace process. Unfortunately, because of my limited reputation, I had to choose a more aggressive policy, blaming the bandits for the entire conflict. This angered them somewhat, but I earned some much needed reputation. So, stonks. And finally the time came. Regions began to join me. It might not be much, but the entire south is now under my control, ensuring stability. And with these regions coming under my rule, I gained some reputation and even managed to restore the Hoover Dam. So it was a time to end this long-standing war with the bandits and sign a peace agreement, which I did. Although I got a bit scared when my reputation dropped from 41 to 16, but the most important thing is now that it's finally over, and in this way I regained control over Mojave. And one more thing, this gameplay was on normal difficulty, but I wanted to try it on hard, and it can't be that hard, right? Yeah, it is really hard, believe me, those attempts were pure suffering and pain. But if you want, I can try to play on hard, on even the hardest difficulty in the next episode. But for now, that's it. If you made it this far, you're awesome. We can make a deal. I will show you this awesome cat with some huge fucking burger, and you will leave a like and subscribe. Okay, sounds good? Alright then. See you guys, take care and bye.